Those waists.
Unrealistic expectations.
Hashtag big boobs.
Fairy
Like, it still has the same, like, general, like, shape that they give everyone.
Alright, hi, and welcome back to Ashley's Anime. Today we are going to be talking about body size and body shape. This is to start off our body positivity series for anime. And today I have Becca Davila, who you've heard from before, Adam Barba, who you've probably heard from before, and Allison Wolch, who I just love so much. So, without further ado, let's talk about how weird anime is with body size.
Do you want us to introduce ourselves?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's do that, friend.
Let's do that. Okay. Hi, I'm Adam. I ain't got nothing else.
I was like, are you gonna say anything else?
Hi, my name's Adam. I voice Captain Alex Randwood on Bosch and Brave. I also do a lot of things here at Blackmore. Your turn.
Hot potato.
Hi, I'm Allison. I do stuff on the internet. That's about it.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm a nerd.
God, Becca.
Should have stole Becca's.
Should have stole Becca's.
Too bad.
Thanks, Adam. You made everyone else look bad. No, I'm just kidding. We all had to do things for this.
Well, I was gonna say hi, I'm Adam. I'm trash.
Same.
Me. Same.
I know what I could change mine to. Hi, I'm Allison. I reblog memes all day.
Please.
I'm a dank meme lord.
I am a meme.
Guys, it's getting darker in this room, and it's getting really cold. I think we're getting a little too real at the moment.
Too dank.
Too dang.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess, like, what started this off for me is I started watching that new anime that came out this season, the Kiss Him Not Me, which I have a problem with on, like, multiple levels.
I fell.
Have you seen that one?
I know the premise of it, and it's annoying.
Do you guys know what it is?
Could we explain the premise? Not only to
Okay.
me, but to the audience.
Alright,
Yeah.
well, so
And
if you
me.
guys are not familiar with this season's new anime, Kiss Him Not Me, which I will be reviewing at the end of the season, is basically about a girl who, I guess, I don't know how to necessarily explain without giving away, but basically, like, it's kind of what the title says, like, she has a bunch of guys who are attracted to her, but she's into Otome games, and so she would rather they make out with each other than her. And so it kind of goes back to fetishing queer
That's
characters.
kinky.
That's not even... I swear to God. Which,
But this is like the bad kind of kink.
I know, it's not the good kind of
It's
kink.
not the good kind.
It's not good kinks, it's
Yeah.
bad kink.
it's, well, and, like, I have a problem with that just, and because they talked about it a lot with, like, I don't know, Yuri on Ice is another one that came out that, like, everyone on Tumblr's freaking out over,
Yeah,
which is,
that's
like,
the only one I
actual-
know about this season.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I need to
I've
watch
heard
it
good things.
Because
still.
it's like, it's an anime that's not labeled as, like, shonen ai or yaoi, but it has it in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it keeps that alive and not fetishizing the gayness.
You need a little bit more towards it.
At first, I was disappointed because I heard Yuri on Ice, and I was just like, wait, lesbians.
Please. On Ice.
lesbian.
But then it was just a dude named Yuri, and I was just like, okay. And then I just kept
Leave.
seeing clips, and it was just like, okay.
Which I don't have as much of a problem with that, but I've seen a lot of people kind of get an uproar about, like, how girls often do that, though. Like, they're like, oh, I'd rather the two guys make out, and it makes it kind of awkward
Yeah.
for legitimate gay couples. But that's not the only reason I have a problem with this anime. So in the beginning of the show, not to really give anything away, but she's a plus-size girl. She's big. And I don't... Adam is making gestures. There are gestures. And she, so she's plus size, and her voice is like, I don't know how to explain it.
Like
I should probably just play it. Like, they make it, like, sound like she's got her mouth full the whole time. Yeah, like that. Like, it's really awkward, and she loses a bunch of weight at one point, and then she gets really attractive. Like, before that, I'll pull up a picture, but it's like, it's just so uncomfortable.
It also
that-
just adds to that stereotype that, like, plus size people are disgusting and they always talk weird
Yeah,
or
it's
are, like, monsters.
that messes that, because then it like
Because we also
'Cause
have
it's
to
that-
think it's in Japan, though.
That's her
Yeah.
picture in the
because
background.
it's there. Okay, so that's
The picture
okay.
in the background.
Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
can't see much there. What's
And that one's cute, but, like, I mean, the way that they make her talk and stuff like that is really...
Like, they always make, like, the plus size characters, like, the nerdy people that no one wants. Like, they equivalent nerds and fat people, and that's all they are.
Yeah, that's
they're,
not cool.
They're obsessed with like the opposite gender because they love them, but they'll never get loved because they're unattractive because they're fat apparently. Irritating.
That's fucked up.
It's irritating.
Becca's leading the march, everybody.
Well, as like a cosplayer in the community, like the plus size thing is a big factor in that.
I agree. I think that it's just, I don't know, and like this isn't the only anime that's done it. I've seen a couple other ones, like the fact in Excel World that he's like his avatar's a pig.
Yeah, like you're calling
and
this plus size person a pig.
Yeah, like I know that was a bully thing, and it was supposed to show that, and I don't think that Excel World was as bad as others.
It wasn't as bad
at all, but I do think that it's still something to like keep in mind and recognize. Like,
I mean, a good one I would say, I don't know if the character himself is considered plus size, but he is bigger, is Ore Monogatari, the big dude and the little girl. Not little girl, but the small, and like he has the very attractive friend. And do you know which anime I'm talking about? He has like the big lips and everything. Has anyone seen that one? No?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like a big guy, and that's good because she like loves him no matter what.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
I love that. It's great.
I know there's one show, I can't remember the name of it, but just like one of the characters, not like the main character, but one of the characters in the show, like he is like a bigger guy, but like he just has so much positivity about himself.
Aww.
And it's just like, it's one of those things that you see, it's just like, that's awesome, that's so nice that they're doing this. But then you just kind of think a moment later, why should this be like, yay, you're doing this? Shouldn't this just be like
a normal thing?
Yeah. Normal that bigger characters can have self-esteem.
It's like this is really great, and it's really sad that I'm saying that this is so great because it should be normal.
To see the representation.
Yeah, it's sad that it has to be pointed out.
Yeah,
that's why it's sad. It's, you know, if it was normal, then it'd be fine, it'd be great, but it's not, and the fact that we have to point it out makes it really sad.
I agree with you guys. Well, and you have to keep in mind too. I mean, anime is Japanese. So, like, what their idea isn't necessarily ours. So I don't know how you necessarily fix that issue.
The problem is, though, it is a problem still here. Not as much so a problem like in Japan. Like in Japan, like you're fat, you're like unattractive.
Well, and it's still a problem for them too.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is Japan. It's worse, but we still have it like pretty bad here with the stigma against fat people.
Well, here. I think I mean here we see it more as a problem. I think in Japan they sit there and they don't see the you know, they're like, oh, if you're fat, you're disgusting. They don't see that as a problem. They're like, oh, that's just the way it is. Here though, you know, we're constantly fighting, or at least majority of people are constantly fighting for, you know, body positivity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there's much of that there.
And I see that a lot too, like, but there are some shows that I saw that were trying to kind of work past that. Like, I think, what was that one? The one where he gets a girlfriend, and she's really pretty, and he's like a bigger guy.
Ore Monogatari, the one I was talking about?
I was about to say, you're narrowing it so wide.
I mean, that sounds like very generic right now. I'm like,
when there's a guy falls in love with a pretty girl.
That might be it.
He has like the big lips.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Ore Monogatari.
I forget the English. I was thinking the English title for some reason, so that's why I was thinking of another anime.
I'm a weeb, so I know the Japanese title.
I'm sorry. No, and then there's also an issue with like the body types that they already give girls, because like if you look at like, and I love Sailor Moon and I love One Piece, but those those waists.
Unrealistic expectations.
Like, how do you...
Wears 9 corsets over each other. That's how it happens.
Pulls as tight as
cosplay.
I know. Well, and that's kind of like the weird thing, too, is like when it transfers over to cosplay, like, if you're not that body type, like, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know what you do for that, because, like, there's no way you could be realistic.
Screw the haters.
Well, yeah.
Blocking out the haters.
The obvious one's blocking out the haters. But
you tie your corset using 2 trucks. You just tie it and go.
Just go for it.
I just thought of like a Jessica Rabbit kind of waist.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh.
Or like classic Disney princesses, like Little Mermaid. Just
yeah, like.
I felt like if the wind blew, they would just go.
I saw an artist who did like redos of the Disney princesses, and they made them a little bit like more realistic. And I thought they were just as cute. Like,
well, you know what's funny actually, for the new for Emma Watson playing Belle in the new Beauty and the Beast, she's actually She said she's not going to be wearing a corset at all because they were going to have her wear a corset because in Cinderella she was wearing a corset. The other, not Emma Watson, but
in the Cinderella.
In the live action Cinderella. And I didn't read the whole story behind it. All I know is that she was asked to wear one. She's not going to wear one. I think it's just for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Say no to the man.
To the man. To Disney.
To Disney.
To the mouse. Say no to the mouse.
Jesus. Well, aside from Disney, though, and like again, like that's part of the issue that we see here in our country is like we see it in our animation. So like, what do we do about like anime? Like, do you guys see other body positivity shows? Maybe Becca, I'm like strongly looking at you because you see everything at all times.
See, that's the thing. I've seen probably over like 400 anime, and none of them have body positivity. There's like very rare that, if anything, I see these like girls with like the big boobles and the small waist. The very small waist and the very big hips. Like, here's an example: Fairy Tale. Like, you could call these women thick because I guess they're thick in the right places, but then when you have a woman who is larger in size, you're not thinking thick, you're thinking she's thick in the wrong places.
Right.
So like with like Fairy Tale, One Piece, like majorly the main shonens for like young boys, because the young boys like the big boobles. No, that's what I'm
Hashtag big boobles.
Can we get that trending on Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm on it.
No, but seriously, like even like with my experience in all the anime I've seen, there's really not much body positivity besides be thin. I mean, with guys, it's okay to be bigger in anime.
Yeah.
With girls, not so much. Because when I think Fairy Tale,
like it still has the same like general like shape that they give everyone.
Because like when I think like Fairy Tale, there's like Elfman in there who's like a giant man, or they just like they're fine with like the bigger men because they're muscular, I guess.
Yeah.
Or there's even
that's the difference between having like plus size character and having like muscular character. Because a muscular character is still like big, but different kind of big.
But then there's even just like big guys that no one like cares. Like they're like, oh, that's cool. But like with the girls, if they make like a girl bigger, they're like,
nah.
I think too.
Go ahead.
Like that one face.
I think too, though, like talking about like muscular men, though, like that's damaging for guys, though. Too,
yeah,
right? Because if you're a plus size guy, like you're looking at that, you're like, well, I have to be muscular in order to be a hero or attractive. Like any of those dialogues can be applicable when we look at like what the men are looking like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's, I guess it kind of goes both ways, just in different areas. But it's kind of like what we kind of see all the time in our stuff is like guys are supposed to be super muscular and girls are supposed to be really like
little and cute and sexy.
Dainty.
They gotta be sexy, but they gotta be cute.
Dainty flowers. It's my first time.
No! Stop! PG-13, everyone. Oh my god.
You can't invite us here and then expect the episode to be PG-13.
I know, I can't. It's just unrealistic expectations. Like anime.
Ties it back in.
There was one show, I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot about it, especially when it started, because it was supposed to be like, hey, body diversity, and it was like a female sport anime. I can't remember if it was like volleyball or swimming. It was something like one of those two. And just like seeing like screenshots and stuff from it and people talking about it, like there was like the vague sense of body diversity, but it was more like this woman is very muscular, but then she has giant tits too.
Yeah.
It's not body diversity. You're just adding, you're just tweaking like one little thing.
And it was like the main like body size difference and stuff like that. Besides like the couple of people who were like more muscular, different kinds of muscular. Like the main difference in body shape and stuff was boob size almost.
Yeah.
Just and you can't sit there and just increase the boob size and says we're having different body types. If we just keep going, like,
or shrinking the boobs down.
If we have 3 girls and they all have different boob size, that's body. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's
You're
not.
changing the fat in the wrong places.
As per request of Allison, we are having a whole entire episode specifically for like the enlargement of certain areas in the body. Because I think that there's a difference between like talking about plus size characters and then where most anime focuses, like what body types are going to be
Boobles.
big. It's mostly boobs. We are going to, most of that episode will probably be just anime boobs.
Boobles.
Yeah.
Boobles.
And we'll bring that show back up, but I was just saying, because, like, the show, like, people were starting to be, it was mostly, like, fanboys.
Right.
Were being like, this show has body diversity. When it's just like, no, that's boob diversity.
No, that's not.
Boob
That's
diversity.
boob diversity. That's different than the
Or
body.
different boobs.
That's, you know, and you can't just can't, again, it's like what I said 2 seconds ago, you can't just increase or decrease the boob size and say that's body diversity. No, it's not at all.
I mean, like, and again, like, the stereotypes that we put on bigger people when we do have them in anime is just weird. And then for a thinner one, though, too, like, there was never a problem with them. Like, it's kind of an expectation of what anime characters should look like, I think, at this point. Like, that they should be very small or very thin or very muscular. Like, any of those body sizes could definitely be applicable. And I think that that's...
Everyone is different in terms of body sizes, because here's the thing with, like, most anime is if you give, like, one character certain look, the other character, all the other girls are gonna have, like, that thin waist, big boobs, big hips thing, and it's obnoxious because not all women are like that. Right. You know what? It's like, some women are bigger in in their stomach area, some women are bigger in the boobs, some bigger in the hips, the legs, but, like, when you see anime, they're all the same size. They're not different at all. They don't add, like, the diversity.
And I think some people have argued, like, that's, like, the artist's art style. And
But see, here's the thing about when it comes down to art style and stuff, because there's always arguments in the art community about stuff about what size and different. They're like, it's my style. No, it's not, because style is how you draw it, how you interpret it, how you make it. But it's kind of like, you can't say, oh, skinny people is my style, because how would you draw, if I go up to that same person and say, well, how would you draw a plus size character in your style? Just not draw them? That's not a style choice. That's a choice on you just to not draw a plus size character. Because that happens a lot. That happens a lot where people are like, well, it's my style. I'm like, no, it's not. Because if it was your style, you'd be drawing a plus-size character in your style. You're not drawing a plus-size character at all. So,
Tim Burton's argument.
Yeah, because, well, no, because a lot
really
of...
racist. Like, there's no way around that.
Racism.
I don't know
what you're talking about.
So, Tim Burton came out and was like, I don't cast darker-skinned people because it's not my look. What does that... Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I get, like, you want
and that's
pasty
so bad.
goths,
Well, it's so
but
bad
because you want
Pasty goth.
aesthetic.
aesthetic? Like,
you can't say...
aesthetic not include darker-skinned people?
No, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like saying, my aesthetic is I'm racist.
that's pretty much it.
And no, because it's true. You watch, various Tim Burton-esque films and everything, and everyone's got a very... Especially, I mean, look at frickin' Corpse Bride. Everyone in there is literally the color of snow. And... everyone's there, and then you look at Night Before Christmas, everyone's really, really pale, and you can't sit there and say, well, I only include pale characters because that's my aesthetic. That's just racism.
that is right.
You can be goth and be a different ethnicity.
Yeah.
Like, you don't...
Goth doesn't mean that you're just pasty white and you're
you can
everything.
be emo and dark.
You can emo and dark.
Where's Taylor when you need her? Where's Taylor when you need her? We need our emo. Our resident emo.
Our resident emo. Oh my god. Well, Becca's here.
Well, we're all kind of emo. So.
We're all emo in some sort of way.
Allison's just like, I got my leather
I was
jacket.
listening. I was listening to MCR before I got here.
I was trying to think of a joke. The real emos were the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god, I can't. Alright, well...
Anyway, the RPGers. Okay.
But yeah, I think, like, things like what Burton said is, like, kind of the problem. Like, we say it's, like, an art style. Like, it's hiding behind a, like, mask almost to mask off our prejudice.
Because you're sitting there, because they know, when that question comes up, when they hear, oh, why aren't these plus-size characters? In their mind, there is a voice sitting there saying, oh shit, I don't have a way out of this.
Yeah.
And they obviously sit there like, well, it's a style, but then you can't do that, because that's like they take that word, they're like, well, it's a style, and they think, this is our savior, this is our shield. And, they don't, and then refuse to come up with an actual way of fixing it. They're just like, this is our shield, it's our style. and they can hide behind that, which is really messed up, you know.
And you can't really call them out for it because then they get like pissy. They're like, it's my art style.
Well, no, because then you really can't though, even though, because then, you know, when they hide behind that and they're like, well, it's my style. Yes, because you can't really argue for that, because they'll be like, well, because that is kind of, again, you can't argue against it, because if you sit there like we've been talking about and been like, well, that's not your side, there's no real argument for it, and people use it because it's such an easy way to just shut people up.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be, because that's not correct, and it's just stupid, but I lost my hat. It's just stupid, but it's so easy of a thing to hide behind. You know,
it's a scapegoat.
It is, exactly.
Vocabulary. I'm just that little voice in the corner that's singing.
No.
Adam's falling. Okay.
Don't knock over the table.
I know.
Don't take the table with you.
Like, I think the obvious would just be to add new ones. And actually, I had someone, I forget where I saw it, but someone was like, oh, Supersonico is plus size. And I was like, no, I mean, her hips are a little bit bigger, but
I mean, she thick, but she not plus size.
She thick.
She thick.
Hashtag.
Okay, because in some of the art I've seen of her, she kind of has a tummy.
Right,
she has a tummy, but I consider her more like a large, not like a 1X or a 2X. She's not plus size. You know what I mean? She thick. She hashtag thick.
Hashtag thick. Hashtag boo boo. Big boo boos.
Hashtag whatever Becca says next.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, it's most of the time that they're considered anime plus size, they still have a huge.
It's like this is plus size. This is what anime plus size is, and it's totally different.
But that's how real life is too, though. Have you ever gone plus size shopping? Okay, as someone with small boobles, they think that anyone who is plus size has giant tits. Am I the only one who sees, like, yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about, you know, because I'll go shopping and I'll go out there and obviously nothing here. That's an episode in its own. But you know, obviously I go out and buy shirts and stuff and I was like, it'll barely fit me right here, and then there's like huge fat amounts of fabric right here, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
It's like
a lot of the time I have the opposite problem. Like, a shirt will fit fine around midsection, get to the chest, and it's just like this.
And it's just because it sits there, and because it comes down to, they're like, oh, well, this is this, and then this is a plus size body type. That's not, you don't just say this is a plus size. Plus size means
everyone has different bodies.
Everyone has different body types. That's literally, everyone has a different body type.
Yeah, everyone is different. They're
built
like,
differently,
no
the same. And they try really hard to. And some people, you know, the good ones try really hard to accommodate everyone. But in a good portion, you know,
it's still hard.
It's still really hard, you know, because
you're mass producing these clothes.
You know,
and it's not going to fit everybody.
Because
yes,
Allison
was raising their hand.
Just going slightly back to anime instead of clothing. It's like, I feel like part of the problem is also the community that is watching.
Yes.
Because even for some stuff where, first thing I was thinking about in terms of like what viewers see versus the character is like not anime but Overwatch, because there's Mei who is bigger, but then people like fan art and stuff like that, like there is a certain amount of artistic freedom that people have.
I think,
but people were drawing her very small, and it's just like just big boobs.
No, because when you see her, like when you see her in like her Yeti Hunter like outfit, she like you'll see like her lower half, and she is so much like larger in her lower half area than any of the other girls. The other girls are all very petite and small in that area, and she's like hashtag thick. Yeah. And she looks plus size.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Overwatch is important to mention because, you know, you do have Mei.
Zarya.
She is, but then exactly. You've got Zarya, and it's the exact opposite side of it. She's very muscular, very tall, she's very big, pretty much everywhere.
I saw a post today that kind of talked about that they wanted people with fan art to stop drawing her like she was like ripped, but rather like she's kind of beefy, like she's got muscles. but like people would keep like slimming down her stomach area to make it look like she was like really cut versus like actually kind of just like she has a tummy but she still has a lot of the obvious like muscles that we see all the time, because it looks like under her armor she would probably have a
she looks a little bigger in the she doesn't really look like she has much of a waist, if you know, because sometimes it looks like that her body is built more where that fat or muscle is going to be built right there, so she doesn't have much of a waist, so she's not going to be like lean in the middle of her waist area. She's still bigger.
Right.
So like what I was saying with that is like the people who are making things see how people like respond to stuff. They see what, I'm sure that a lot of creators, they look at what other people make, like in terms of fan art and stuff like that, and they see that people are making this, so it's the assumption that people want to see this versus something different. So they make more of the same so people will watch it.
Right.
So they can get that same crowd of people.
I think I saw that too with Excel World. I heard from someone else, although I didn't look much into it, so if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but there was like a huge uproar about a season 2 because the main character was bigger. And they were upset over that. I just heard a couple things like that. That might have been on a forum or something. I really hope that's not true. But like and I think that if you get that kind of reaction, like of course we're not going to see a lot of plus size characters. And I don't know, I think that translates a lot too. I think it might be just different on depending on where you live and stuff. Because I mean, I've run into anime people who are total just dicks about like the whole thing. Like they're just not.
See, it goes back to what Allison said about like the audience, who's watching it, because in society, whether it's in Japan or it's in America, being fat is considered unattractive. So why would you make your characters who you kind of want to sell body pillows of and posters
and you want to get people to watch?
You want to get people. Why would you make them unattractive? Like this is the same with like live action shows. You're not hiring thicker or bigger people to play people.
And you know that's.
Freaking Monster Misune, the half-horse person, is totally skinny.
Well, I mean, that's why, you know, you have, I mean, but yeah, because I mean, you know, that's true, and then that's why I think it's really good that we do have shows now that are having, you know, different body type characters. Cause
like Steven Universe.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to find a way to weed Steven Universe into this. Because I was like, I got to talk.
Says with their cookie cat hat on.
Says with their cookie hat wearing on. But no, it's true, though, because that is one thing that I think a lot of people even talk about all the time, where they're like, if you look at Steven Universe, it's not even like this person's bigger and this person's smaller. This one's skinny and has no boobs. This one's shorter and has this. There are like 10 different body types within the first hour of watching it. And they're all very different and I think that's a really good thing. It's
a step in the right direction.
It is a step in the right direction.
But we still have a lot of progress to go in terms of anime, in terms of American shows.
Yeah.
Because it's sad when you try to think, well, what show has a lot of this, like, different body types, and you can only think of, like, 1 or 2 examples.
Yeah, that's not good, because that means, you know... We're pointing again. It's like I said earlier. Where I'm like, it's sad that you have to point out this thing. It's sad that it's not normal. It's sad the fact that we have to sit there and say, well, this show has it.
Well, and even then, it's like, you know, if you look at even just like realistic, you know, regular people, like most of the time, bigger women or bigger men are considered comedians. Like they're supposed to be funny or something like that. And we've kind of like discussed that too. And even like. I think what's kind of hard is we're coming into an era where we have to think more intersectionally about the media that we produce and what we're creating, because we have to think about, like, okay, well, if this character has this body type, what does that mean? Like, what is their personality? Because I know somebody who's doing, like, research on, like, Steven Universe and some of, like, the racial stereotypes that kind of happen there. And so, like, we still have, like, a long way to go about making our shows more. But I have to wonder, like, if our animation will ever, like, influence, like, Japanese anime. Like, you know, because no one really watches American-produced anime.
Yeah.
I can see why. But but at the same time, like, I mean, I'm sure they know that they have, like, a much bigger... It's not just, like, anime's just in Japan. Like, it's really popular over here. So what... I wonder if, you know, if we're ever going to see a change in the fan base, and if we're ever going to see a change in, like... what they're producing, you know?
One of the problems I have is with any show that has a plus size person, they their character is that they're a plus size person and like they get made fun of for it, or they make fun of themselves for being fat, rather than them just being a person.
It's true. That just
like
comes
example
into,
like Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, it just comes in that because that's kind of like what you were saying. It's like, oh, bigger characters are meant to be funny, also stuff, and it's true. It becomes all about their size.
Yeah, it's the jokes are about their weight. Which is
you know, you can't have someone who's in there because it's too many words, too many thoughts. But no, it's true, because that's just a thing in general. It's just become such a stereotype that every time they're bigger, they have to be funny. And if they're not, you know, you're never... It's kind of like they're going to sit there, it's like, well, the big character can't be the love interest, so might as well,
you gotta be the fat, funny one.
This new one kind of was telling me, like, from the very first episode, I had a huge problem, because, like, who the hell's talking? And then when I found it was her, I was like... What the and then like she lost a bunch of weight and then tired. And all these guys like flocked to her, and then they were all friends with her beforehand, so whoever wants to fight me,
that would piss me off. Like if I lost all my weight and people like wanted to date me now, I'd be like, what was different? I was the same person, just I looked different.
And
like,
she talks about that too. She's like, oh, I'm like the same person and all that.
Same personality.
I tried to be normal, and she's most of the time she's referring to her like otaku life versus her like her weight, but like that's kind of the reason they even pay attention to her in the beginning, because she does lose all this weight. And so I don't know, like I thought for a while, because we had a couple series that were like really kind of like getting there, and this one like totally
one step forward, two steps back. I think that's how it is with any representation, whether it be body size.
Well, it's kind of interesting, because I have a comedian I really love named Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah. And he's a bigger guy. That's obvious. Mm-hmm. Now, in the beginning of his shows, when in the beginning of stuff like you know, he's obviously a bigger guy, and he obviously makes jokes about him being a bigger guy. When you watch his movie, the fluffy movie, when he sits there and he talks about it on stage, he brings up a good point where he sits there and he says, people keep coming up to him and they're like, Gabriel, if you lose all this weight, because he lost 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. If you lose all this weight, what are we supposed to talk? What are you going to talk about? What are we going to, he's like, I'm going to talk about my friends and my stories. It's like, what are we going to call you if you lose all this weight? I've been working out. Call me Buffy. I don't care. And he's kind of sitting there and he brings up a good point where it was like, why? Am I no longer funny because I'm losing all this weight?
Yeah. And it comes that to Melissa McCarthy, though.
Yeah, that happens
she just lost a bunch.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I have to bring up that point, just because that is exactly what we're talking about, where he sits there, he's like, what? I can't be funny anymore, or, you know, he's like, what are you going to talk about now? That's, you know, and he's like, it's ridiculous that we have that. It's, you know, you can either be really pretty and have no personality, or really fat and be funny, but there's no in between. That's like, it's really messed up.
Stereotypes.
Yeah.
There is one anime, though, that I actually really enjoy. Well, I read the manga for it first, and I really liked it because I think it talked a lot about, like, how changing yourself kind of is, like, especially for love, is very wrong, like, is not the right reasons why you should be in love or why you should change. Mm-hmm. And that one was Say I Love You. And the main character is quiet and antisocial, and so it talked a little bit more about her social anxiety, but there is one character in there who they kind of talk about her past, and this is spoiler alert.
I cried at that part.
So for backup for you guys, and spoiler alert, and you might want to just skip over this. So she, I forget her name, but she
was so cute.
Yeah, so she slept with the main character's love interest like a year or two ago, right? And she's like upset, like doesn't understand why he doesn't like her. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about how in the very beginning, like she was actually like overweight, and she would wear all this makeup, and she like wanted this guy to like be attracted to her, and he didn't because she was bigger. And so she was like, I want you to sleep with me so that I will feel like loved. And he was like, okay, well if that'll make you feel better, sure, but I don't think that's gonna be it. And so she kind of regrets that decision, but then she starts losing a lot of weight to sleep with a lot of guys, and so she's got a lot of marks on her stomach from losing weight so rapidly.
Stretch marks.
Yeah, and so she kind of like, and at one point, I don't know if they showed it in the anime, because I watched the anime,
I
read
the manga for it. I never watched the anime.
Yeah, I forget the whole like premise that they showed in the anime, because they might not have had a lot of time to talk about her story, but there is a part, like, there is one guy that really loves her, and he's like, I wish you wouldn't like sleep with all these guys to feel like you're loved, because I do love you, and that sort of thing, which, her body, her choice, but if she's doing it just to feel loved is kind of problematic. You know, and so, and she always does it with, like, her shirt over her stomach, and they make fun of her when they do see it. And so, at one point, like, I remember there's one point that I really was, like, really happy for her. She, like, let herself, like, lay in her bra and just her bra because she was finally comfortable with, like, that area. But I kind of liked it because even though she did lose weight, like, it still talked a lot about how, like, we expect characters to only find love, to only be acceptable when they lose weight. And I think that brought up a really good point of it. And I wish there were more shows that did that. Because even though she did lose it, like, she to me still was a representation of, like, body positivity and the effects that we place on not just anime characters, but people in general.
See, going back to those Say I Love You, later in the manga, there's another character who is plus size. She is bigger, and she falls in love with a cousin of, like, the main character or something. And her story was people made fun of, like, him and her in a relationship because she was bigger and he loved her no matter what, and she was insecure about her weight, and he's like, I love you no matter your size. And spoiler alert, though, I'm not gonna say what the spoiler is, but it was a sad arc. I remember I cried at that arc. Do you know which part I'm talking about?
I might have, because I know it keeps updating, so
it's not newer. It was like maybe halfway through.
Maybe I didn't get that far then.
Okay, well, it was a really sad part, but either way, like, she was bigger and she was loved by this guy, and it was great, and he didn't even care about her weight at all. And I think Say I Love You is a great example for a lot of things. It's pretty good.
For anything from, like, social anxiety and, like,
body positivity.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think if we had more shows like that. So anyways, before we wrap up, does anyone else have, like, final thoughts or ways that you think that we could have fixed this?
Well, that's, what it comes down to. We can say all we want, but it's not going to get better until we find a way to fix it, which...
A lot of people are closed-minded nowadays.
It's just, how would we even fix it?
Well, it's talking about, like, how, like, it's quote-unquote unhealthy, but, like, you can have a bigger body and still be healthy. Like, it's more about your diet, your exercise, and...
I mean, like, there's also diseases that make people bigger.
Yeah, and it's also, like, a matter of, like, you could be very underweight and be very unhealthy, too, so...
Yeah, because, like, people, like, it goes back to that thing, like, you see, like, a bigger person eating a lot, and you're like, ugh, but you see a skinny person eating, like, a bunch of junk food and stuff, and you're like, they're fine. But it's a diet habit.
But it's it's... there are definitely people who are bigger who are probably a lot healthier than if, like, because, like, I know a lot of people who, like, they'd be smaller, they're, who they are generally smaller and eat a lot of food like that, but then, like, they're not healthy on any means. And, people in the society, we view it where if you're small, you're healthy. That's not it at all. It's not true. Because a lot of times, I have had quite a bit of friends who are smaller, and then, like, they develop some sort of dietary restrictions or something like this because of problems and complications, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't, but for some reason we still view it as, like, if you're bigger and you're eating...
It's like, oh, you must eat at McDonald's every single day. It's like, what?
And it's okay, I want listeners to understand, like, nobody is upset with, like, skinny people or anything like that.
No.
People always, like, assume that if you're pro, like, plus size, that you're anti-skinny, and that's not true.
I'm just pro body positivity. Everyone
I want everyone to love their body, and that's what I was talking about, when I talked about Steven Universe, that everyone's very different, they all...
And everyone's beautiful, everyone has a different body, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you have something you want to say, Allison? You look like you want to say something.
It was with the whole, like, when you see a fat person eating this and a skinny person eating this thing, there's also the, like, a different kind of version of that almost, where people are working out. You see a bigger person working out, and there's always, like, comments and stuff like that.
Making fun of them.
Yeah. And you see a skinnier person, or someone who's, like, in quote-unquote better shape, working out, and it's just, like, Instagram pics.
Instagram, please!
All damn likes.
Oh, my God, I love...
That like life.
That like life. Instagram is beautiful. And horrible at the same time.
Yep.
It depends on who you're following, I guess. Anyways.
Distractions.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming in and talking about this. And for all our listeners, we love you no matter your size, no matter if you're thin or big or you have stuff
love you.
Okay. We love you no matter what.
We love you.
We just wanted to point out some of the things that we saw not only this season but in previous animes, and we hope that you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to check out the blog. We'll have a post, and hopefully I'll find some links for you guys to check out. And make sure to follow me on Twitter and look at Blackmore Productions and swim against the current. All right, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.